Hello, everybody. Let's jump right into it. We have the Volibear reveal, the third and final champion for this expansion. And we can see right here, Nyla coming to challenge the Volibear. We know a bit about Titanic. We know he's going to be a Titanic unit. He's probably going to be very expensive, a high drop unit. Let's take a look. Here we go.
Who dares challenge the wild?
Let's see here. Oop. Back up a little bit. Relentless Storm. Okay, so Volibear is a 9 mana 10/10. On play, play Relentless Storm 3 times. Each one targets a different random enemy or the enemy nexus if none. And level up at round end if you've dealt 50 plus damage. So Volibear, Relentless Storm is 4 damage to a unit. If it's dead or gone, deal 2 to the enemy nexus instead. Okay, so this is going to be 4 damage, 4 damage, 4 damage to different enemy units. And if they have less than 3 enemy units, it's going to do 2 damage to the enemy nexus. So he comes down with kind of just a nice board wipe. That is very cool. It's also an elemental skill, so you can increase that damage or manipulate it in a couple different ways that we've seen so far. Alright, right off the bat, and you can cheat him out a little bit earlier if you're doing the whole Titanic sigil thing. Alright, I like it. Let's keep going. Yep, sigils, Titanic, we know about that already.
You wish to cut my thread? Grand boast, Tiny Bee.
Your rage will leave you nothing to protect. Place your faith in me and your destiny shall unfold.
Janna, I beg you, reveal my path to me.
Stormlord gave me power immeasurable.
Hold fast to your
Okay,
hope
buff spell
in
that
me
does that.
and in one another.
The wind versus the storm.
Give me your power, Stormbringer. I am your chosen.
My storm does more than destroy Volibear.
Drive your storms harder, Janna. What is water but ice that is weak?
There can be no ice without water, Volibear.
I think that might have been voice lines in the wrong direction. Either way, here's a buff, and then an avalanche.
When all is dark and cold, I shall remain.
Alright. So levels up, he gets Overwhelm. On play and attack, he summons the Storm. And all other allies have Overwhelm. Oh, that's a game ender. Ooh, that's more of a game ender than Aurelian Soul. That is very similar to... It's very similar to level 3 Renekton, actually. But, yeah, that's scary. Okay, so Volibear himself is Titanic, but he doesn't care about the Titanic, vocab. He just benefits from it, which makes sense. Alright, let's see. Volibear Stormbringer, deal 4 to all units except Titanic allies. Interesting. So that's going to kill 3 of his own units. But it will also just wipe out. That's 8 mana, it won't cost less. That's a pretty cool 8 mana board wipe. Especially compared to Trundle's one. Clash of Giants. Summon two. Whoa! Summon two random Titanic followers. I cost one less for each elemental spell you've played this game.
You cannot overcome me.
Oh my.
The snow is red from our foes. The storm breaks all.
Okay. Let's see a little bit more. Level 2 art, you can actually see Nyla still fighting.
Do not fear the rapture of conquest. It blinds me not.
Well, we're not getting this expansion, but this is overall a saga. So the next one is still going to be themed on this Nyla's adventure thing, I think. And it looks like we're headed to the Shadow Isles, finally. It's been quite a long time since we had a Shadow Isles champion, but that's not really what's important here. What's important here now is Volibear. So let's take a closer look. So we saw Volibear, we saw his level 2, big game ender, huge board wipe. The level up doesn't need to see the 50 damage, and with indiscriminate board wipes, Relentless Storm, and 10 damage hits with Volibear, you shouldn't have that hard of a time getting to the level 2 stage. And then that level 2 stage is a game ender, giving everything overwhelm, getting overwhelmed yourself, and just doing the Relentless Storm so that no matter what they're blocking with, it's going to have probably 4 less health. Volibear, however, has no inherent protection. So Volibear is going to be very weak to things like kill effects, anything like that. Volibear can be frostbitten, can be captured. There are plenty of answers to Volibear, but between the play effect and the level up attack effect, Volibear is going to be very rough to deal with. He is a huge game ender in the late game, and potentially even earlier if you're actually going to be trying to run sigils or just normal ramp. Alright, Stormbringer, we saw a 8 mana board wipe, 4 damage to all units, but your Titanic allies can survive, which is pretty nice. But let's take a look at some of these ones. Flame Caller Caprine. When you play an elemental spell or skill, forge me. Interesting. So that's a 4 mana 3/2. And as long as you're playing elemental spells or skills, you're going to get forge, so +1/+1. But if there's a item, if you actually play this with an item, you can go ahead and put those +1/+1s on the item, which will make it a bit more permanent. That is pretty cool, actually. The question is, how many elemental spells will you be able to put in a actual weapon deck? Since Volibear himself doesn't actually have any weapons that he seems to care about. I suppose when it comes to Flamecaller here, I know Molten Breath is an elemental thing. So at least there's that, but we'll see what else is around. Invocation of Thunder. It's a 3 mana slow to draw a card in Freljord, and it summons a sigil, which will help you out eventually. That is pretty solid. It is 3 mana and isn't helping you survive, unlike the 3 mana unit that summons a sigil. But this one, it's drawing you a card. It's a good use for mana when you're just kind of stalling and don't want to commit anything yet. So I think it's not the worst thing to have in your deck. Sky Splitter is just 2 mana for 1/3. Okay. How do we feel about that compared to the buffs we already have, especially in Freljord? If we compare it to Troll Chant, it is worse than the swing from Troll Chance, technically, but it is giving you a little bit of an attack. That's not a bad buff to be getting, and it's an elemental whenever that matters. And then we have our newest big mana. You could almost say that this is actually the replacement for Field of Rush, which got rotated. A 16 mana spell that will cost 1 less for each elemental spell or skill you've played this game to a maximum of 10. So at the very minimum, this is going to cost 6 mana. That's the best you could get. But there are plenty of elemental spells and skills that got added, especially in Freljord, so it shouldn't be too hard to get this lowered enough to around the time that you would play. Yeah, around the time that you would play the Feel the Rush before. You're not guaranteed specific champions, though. You're going to get random Titanic followers from any region, but as we saw in the video, one of the big high rolls is going to be getting Cythria. All in all, how do we feel about these new cards? I think Volibear is definitely going to impact the meta. You're going to be seeing some Volibear decks very soon. You're going to want to, if you want to play against a Volibear deck, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you have some hard removal. You need some way to deal with a big guy. Ruination might just see a comeback after this because we're going to need it. And Volibear, if you're wanting to run Volibear, you can just go for the straightforward crush them kind of strategy, overwhelm them, play a bit control and defensive. If you really care about the Volibear himself, then you can combine with Targon, which will have plenty of other Titanic units, and also cares a bit about ramp, and you can go ahead and get Spell Shield in that way. And of course, there's also running Volibear with Ionia for actual, or Shurima for actual deny type synergies to be able to stop spells. But I think Targon might be the easiest way to do it in terms of protecting your Volibear. But we'll see. We'll be able to start doing some deck building stuff. What do you think about the Volibear here? Go ahead and leave a like and a comment down below. I think Volibear is definitely going to impact the meta. He's very strong. The level up, it takes some work. There's be a lot of games where you'll just kind of win before you even get a chance to get to that level up on Volibear. But if Volibear does level up, that is almost a guaranteed win at that point if they let the Volibear get to that level up. But alright, you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys fairly certain. Once these cards come out, I'm probably going to go over the flavor text and see if we can put together the story of the first part of the Fates Voyage. So, go ahead and look forward to that. Leave a subscribe so that you can know when that comes out, and I'll see you guys then. You guys enjoy the new expansion.